Let's get spooky. This is our Station Boo, where we explore the dark and mysterious corners of the world of horror, and we know that you are dying to listen.
All right, and welcome to the Spooky and Kooky podcast of Earth Station Boo, where we talk all things horror. I'm Shannon, and I'm going to introduce our beautiful haunted host. We have Lisa.
Hi, Groovy Ghoulies.
We have Karen.
My horrorholics.
And today we are going to be talking about the one, the only, Mr. Freddy Krueger and his first appearance in The Nightmare on Elm Street. The Nightmare on Elm Street was released. It was written and directed by the one and only Mr. Wes Craven, who you know we love and adore. It starred some amazing people, which we'll get into that a little bit later. This movie roughly was budgeted just under $2 million, which I think is phenomenal, for especially in the 80s. But it has grossed over $25 million since then. So in 40 years, this movie has made almost $26 million, which is insane. That budget alone, in comparison, they made their money's worth on it. Especially considering that first million that they got was opening weekend in the 80s.
Which is pretty good.
Yeah, it's fantastic. Fantastic. So let's go ahead. Let's dive on in to this amazing film. I know we've talked about it a number of different times, just chatting and subsequently in some of the episodes already. But Lisa, we'll have you start. When was the first time you even saw this movie?
When it opened. Yes, I just aged myself, guys. I got to see it when it opened in 1984, and oh my God, it terrified me.
I believe it.
It kind of freaked me out. Yeah, but it was fantastic. My dad and I went to go see it because my dad took me to all these movies I shouldn't have seen, but we did it anyway. It was good. I loved it.
Huh? Karen, how about you?
I remember watching it with my mom. I don't remember if it was on beta or Laserdisc, because we're like in Japan and stuff like that, so we have like the newest technology. My dad was in the Air Force, so why not have a beta and a Laserdisc and a VHS deck? So I remember watching it with my mother, and I remember falling in love with the movie. That's a new take on horror. Like you have all these other people in real life, blah blah blah. Then this person shows up in a dream, killing you.
Yeah.
Yep. I don't know when the first time I saw it. I think I was in high school. And I think it was like at somebody's house, or I don't know. I honestly don't remember the first time I saw it. All I do remember, though, was going, oh my God, this guy is so cool. Like, this is a really cool villain. And I also was like in love with Johnny Depp, and I was like, oh my God, that guy's hot. But yeah, no, the movie was intriguing. And even though I know like a few of my friends had nightmares because they saw the movie and they thought about like Krueger like entering their dreams, I didn't. Like, I guess something in my brain was like, yeah, this is fake. It's not a big deal. But the more that I've learned about the film, the more that I've learned about like the backstories, the more I've learned about like just everything that came to make this iconic film, the more I've actually truly enjoyed watching it, where it makes like the watching experience even more fun because you can see the things that made it. And you're like, oh, okay, well, that's kind of cool. Okay, that's kind of neat. Okay, I can see how that, transferred and worked.
That works, yeah.
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 Like, for the fact that a lot of what Krueger is and what he does to his victims actually comes from true stories. back in the late 70s, early 80s, there were refugees from South Asia, from Laos and a few other places where the
I want to say it
refugees,
was
there was a few countries that
Hello?
were part of it.
yeah, it was like the Asian, it was the Laos, the Cambodian, and
Yeah, like,
Yeah, there was a couple of countries that were part of it. It was a specific
yeah.
tribe, technically, but that tribe covered multiple countries.
it's Homong.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah. But these refugees had a number of men. There was a couple women, but it was mostly men from teenage to early 50s who died in their sleep. But the thing about it was what led to it was weeks of them refusing to sleep, saying, I'm going to die. If I fall asleep, I will die. Them knowing this, them refusing to take medication, doing everything that they can to stay awake because they feared for their life. There was one specific article that Wes Craven has talked about in interviews about a boy who had died, who, after he had passed, his parents found the medication that they had given him to make him go to sleep was in his closet right next to a coffee pot that had coffee in it that he was making in the middle of the night so that way he would stay awake. Um, and it's kind of crazy that like all that happened. So what's your all's take on all that?
I mean, as a child who has sleeping problems anyways, the lack of sleep never really scared me. I mean, the idea of something coming into your dreams, yeah, that scared me a little bit until I learned what lucid dreaming meant. Because I always had lucid dreams growing up. Um, so it's horrific to think that all these young men were just dying because of lack of sleep because they were so afraid of whatever it is that's coming after them. Someone who's also of Asian descent, it kind of hits home for me. um but as for for me, it's not the lack of sleep. It's more for me, the scariest part of sleeping is not the nightmares, it's the sleep paralysis demon. So if they ever make a movie about a sleep paralysis demon, let me know.
They
Yeah, there's a
have.
couple.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'll send you the link later. Yeah.
Okay. But yeah, just it's a good idea, like, that he drew inspiration from
Mm-hmm.
this. Um, because like I said, there's not that many horror icons that, dealt with the metaphysical world almost, the dream
Mm-hmm.
world. And that's what
Yeah.
makes it scary for me. And also shows you that you could take a simple idea and turn it into a story, like Wes
Mm-hmm.
Craven did. I mean, it was a simple
Yeah.
idea based in fact.
Mm-hmm.
And he
Mhm.
created a story that everyone loves and everyone is horrified about.
Yeah. Lisa?
Yeah. Not falling asleep doesn't really bother me so much is because I'm also an insomniac. But like
Aren't we all?
when yeah, I think we all are. But sometimes it's the control that you have in your dream. And one of the things I used to practice when I was younger, and I need to practice